Okay, there we go. Okay. This is a question that is being asked by Henry Chivutu. So he writes, good topic. Why isn't the book of Enoch in the Apocrypha used to help understand the end times when it draws very interesting parallels that help shed light on the apocalyptic events? For instance, the arrogant one referred to in the book of Daniel, the abomination of desolation. Packed question from Henry, but I don't know if you are able to.
Yeah, I can handle that.
Sure, Doctor.
We have a number of apocalyptic books that have been excluded from the canon of the Bible. And they've been excluded from the canon of the Bible because they don't meet a number of requirements. Of course, we can read them to understand certain things. But remember what we have already in Scripture is enough to understand everything we need. I think from God's perspective, there's nothing that we need to know about God's will which is not in the canon of the Bible. Everything else may be supplementary, but the Scripture is sufficient enough to give us more lights on any topic, including the end time event. And that's one reason we have. It's not only the book of Enoch, which is apocalyptic in nature and which has been excluded. There are so many apocalyptic texts that were written during the intertestamental period, the time between the two testaments there, and they don't meet a number of requirements. So we are satisfied with the revelation that we already have in the canon of the Bible.
Right.
All we need is to read carefully and understand. And some of those ambiguous texts, they become so clear, especially when you read them in light of certain factors that we need to consider, like the background behind the writer and the readers altogether. As far as I may agree with the question to say the book of Enoch and other books, may actually shed some light. But what we already have in terms of this particular topic of eschatology, from God's wisdom and perspective, it is enough to understand this. It's because we fail to do our task and homework, to read carefully, and then to be satisfied with what God has already given in terms of eschatology and what is going to come to pass. There are so many apocalyptic literature that have been excluded because they are not part of the canon. So we trust the canon of the Bible, the 39 books of the Old Testament, the 27 books of the New Testament, the canon. Everything we need to know about God is revealed there. Scripture is sufficient. And that could be, I think, my reason not to adhere to the book of Enoch.